We just heard in our gospel this morning another one of Jesus' famous parables. Sometimes I think we tend to believe that parables are supposed to make things easier to understand. But in reality, Jesus teaches in parables because he wants us to go a little deeper. We have to buy into them, put some effort into thinking through them and interpreting them. And the three parables that Jesus gives us today are no different. But today I want to focus on what is perhaps the most famous of the three, the parable of the wheat and the tares, or the wheat and the weeds. I think it shows us an essential truth to our faith, that God is always in control. Jesus explained this parable to us right in the scriptures. He said, "The one who sows the good seeds is the Son of Man. The field is the world, the good seed, the children of the kingdom. The weeds are the children of the evil one, sown by the devil. In the end, the Son of Man allows the weeds to grow alongside the wheat until the harvest time, and then they will be separated." Sometimes we get the notion that our world is good versus evil. It's a constant battle of light versus darkness, sort of like Star Wars. But this parable shows us that that is not true. That is not true. God is completely in control of the world that he created. He is the landowner in the parable. He owns the field and controls when the harvest is. And then the evil one is playing in God's dominion. Yet God allows the evil one to come and sow the seeds of weeds into the field. And then he allows the weeds to grow up with the wheat. This gets to the core of one of the most fundamental philosophical questions that humanity has to grapple with, the problem of evil. Evil is a part of life, there's no doubt. So why does God allow it? The ultimate answer is so that he can bring about a greater good. He allows evil, he allows the weeds to grow up amidst the wheat for fear of tearing up the wheat. God is ultimately in control. Let me try to illustrate this a little further with an example. St. Ignatius of Loyola had quite a conversion story. He was born in 1491 and grew up in a wealthy Spanish family with great dreams of becoming a knight someday. He was serving in the military, but one day during a battle, a cannonball ricocheted off a wall and hit his leg. After a rather primitive surgery, he spent months recovering at home. And while he was recovering at his family's castle, he wanted to read books of chivalry, what we might think of today as these great knights' tales. But all that could be found in the castle were books on the lives of the saints and the life of Christ. So he began to read them, and he was profoundly impacted. Soon he began to notice that when he would think about becoming a knight, he would be left dissatisfied. But when he thought of becoming a saint, he was left feeling peaceful and full of joy. Eventually, he decided he wanted to imitate the saints. So he went on to become a priest, and eventually he founded the Jesuits. In the life of St. Ignatius, his cannonball injury was the weed. If God removed his injury right away, the wheat, his conversion, and all the good things that followed might have been uprooted along with it. Ultimately, this parable teaches us that God knows what he is doing. He is in control of every aspect of our world and of our lives. Amid the evils, the difficulties that we encounter, we can trust that God has the care of us all in mind, as we heard in our first reading. Every difficulty that we encounter has its reason. God allows them for our own good. In just a few moments, the same Lord who created our world and is in control of every aspect of it will become present here on the altar in the Eucharist. As we prepare to receive him this morning, May we ask him to come to the aid of our weaknesses, increasing our faith and our trust that he is the one in control, no matter what afflictions come or what weeds might sprout up. Amen.